Ladies and gentlemen, in a world where everyone is shouting to be heard, where the loudest voices often drown out the wisest ones, I want to remind you of a principle as old as time. True strength thrives in silence. We are conditioned to believe that if we are not talking, posting, or proving ourselves to others, we are falling behind. But the truth is the opposite. The loudest in the room rarely hold the deepest wisdom. The silent ones do. Because silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. It is the mark of someone too focused on building themselves to waste time convincing others. If you want to change your life, don't broadcast your every move. Work in silence and let your results thunder across the room. The world doesn't need to hear your promises. It needs to witness your discipline. Remember, the oak tree grows strong not by announcing its roots, but by standing tall through every storm. Discipline begins with silence. It is in the quiet moments when the world is not watching that the foundation of greatness is built. Every man and woman who has ever achieved something extraordinary learned the value of silence. Because silence is not just the absence of noise, it is the birthplace of discipline. When you are silent, you are listening. When you are silent, you are observing. And when you are silent, you are training yourself to endure the weight of patience, the grind of repetition, and the struggle of self-control. The modern world is loud. Every voice demands to be heard. Every achievement is broadcast, and every opinion is shared before it has even been thought through. But the person who can endure silence, who can master the stillness of their own mind, becomes untouchable. Why? Because discipline is forged in the absence of applause. When there is no one cheering you on, when there is no audience waiting for your results, that is when your true character is revealed. Discipline begins when you continue to do the work without recognition, when you show up even though nobody is watching, and when you push forward even when the reward feels distant. Silence forces you to face yourself. There are no distractions, no excuses, no noise to cover up the truth. In silence, you see the gaps in your effort. You see the excuses you've been making, and you realize that the only way forward is through discipline. That means showing up early. That means staying later than the rest. That means taking the small, consistent steps that nobody else has the patience to take. It is the small, disciplined actions performed in silence that accumulate into greatness over time. Think of a soldier in training. The days are long, the nights are longer, and the effort seems endless. There is no music playing to keep the rhythm, no applause from the sidelines, no one congratulating you for every push-up, every mile run, or every drop of sweat that hits the ground. But those quiet, grueling moments are where discipline is born. Because when no one else is there to recognize the effort, you learn to work for something far greater than applause. You learn to work for mastery. You learn to work for yourself. Discipline built in silence is stronger than discipline built under the spotlight. The spotlight is temporary, silence is eternal. The spotlight makes people perform when others are watching, but silence makes you perform when nobody is watching, and that is when it matters most. When the lights are off, when the cameras are gone, when the crowd is left, and it is just you and the work, what will you do then? That is where discipline is tested, and that is where discipline either grows stronger or fades away. You must understand that silence is not emptiness, it is preparation. Silence is where the mind sharpens, where the body strengthens, where the spirit endures. If you can master silence, you can master repetition, and repetition is the mother of discipline. Every great achievement in human history was built on countless hours of silent work. The author writing in the quiet of the night, the athlete training when no one is watching, the leader studying long after others have gone home. All of them understood that silence is not the absence of progress, it is the engine of it. The temptation of noise is constant. The temptation to speak before you act, to announce your goals before you have achieved them, to seek validation before you have earned it. That temptation destroys discipline. Because when you seek applause too early, you rob yourself of the hunger that silence gives you. The hunger to keep going. The hunger to push further. The hunger to prove it to yourself, not to others. If you can resist that temptation, if you can stay silent while you work, you will cultivate a discipline that cannot be shaken. Discipline built in silence also builds resilience. The world will not always support you. At times it will doubt you, mock you, and dismiss you. But when you are disciplined in silence, you are no longer dependent on the world's validation. You know your worth because you have earned it in private. You have trained yourself to rely not on applause but on action. And that resilience will carry you through storms that break those who seek only recognition. Think of silence as armor. When you build discipline in silence, you carry with you a shield that cannot be penetrated by criticism, by doubt, or by fear. Because you know the truth of your own effort. You know the hours you have spent, the sacrifices you have made, the discipline you have cultivated when no one was looking. And when the world finally does take notice, when the noise eventually comes, it will not shake you, because you are grounded in something stronger than opinion. You are grounded in silence. The most disciplined people in the world do not need to tell you about their discipline. You can see it in their presence, in their consistency, in the results of their work. Their silence speaks louder than any words. They understand that talk is cheap, but effort is priceless. They understand that noise fades, but results endure. And they understand that every time they choose silence over distraction, they are feeding the fire of discipline inside them. There will be moments when silence feels unbearable, when you crave recognition, when you want to shout about your effort to the world. But those are the moments you must endure, because it is in enduring silence that you grow stronger. The world rewards those who can endure what others cannot, and few people can endure silence. Few can live with the discipline of working day after day without applause, but those who can, rise above the rest. Discipline begins with silence, because silence teaches you self-control. It teaches you patience. It teaches you that the world does not owe you recognition, that success does not happen overnight, and that the path to greatness is paved with quiet, steady steps. Every morning you wake up before the sun, every time you train while others are sleeping, every moment you stay focused while others are distracted, you are proving to yourself that silence is not a weakness. It is your greatest strength. Discipline born in silence creates a life of freedom, because once you have mastered silence, you are no longer controlled by the noise of others. You are no longer enslaved by the need for recognition. You no longer depend on the opinions of the crowd. You are free to work, free to grow, and free to become the person you were meant to be. And when the time comes, when your results are finally revealed to the world, the silence that shaped you will roar louder than any words ever could. Discipline begins with silence. Embrace it, live it, let it shape you into something unshakable. Because when you can master the discipline of silence, there is nothing, absolutely nothing that can stop you. Noise is a distraction. It takes you away from what matters, it pulls you off course, and it consumes the energy you should be investing in yourself. Noise is everywhere. It is the constant chatter of people telling you what you should do, who you should be, what path you should take. It is the endless stream of opinions, criticisms, and empty praises that fill the air but add no real value to your life. And if you allow it to, noise will steal your focus, and when you lose focus, you lose progress. The truth is simple. The louder the world becomes, the more silent you must grow within yourself. Because greatness has never been achieved by those who are distracted by the noise around them. Greatness is achieved by those who learn to shut it out, who trained themselves to remain steady, who understood that every ounce of attention wasted on noise is an ounce of energy stolen from discipline, from growth, from purpose. Noise comes in many forms. It is not just the voices of others. It is the endless comparisons, the need for validation, the temptation to chase what looks appealing rather than what is meaningful. It is the lure of comfort, the easy option, the quick reward. Noise is distraction dressed as opportunity, and most people never realize it until it is too late. They chase the noise, they chase the applause, and in the end they find themselves exhausted, empty, and far from where they wanted to be. If you want to build a life of substance, you must learn to recognize the noise for what it is, a trap. Noise is designed to keep you busy but not productive, to keep you moving but not advancing, to keep you distracted while your goals quietly slip away. And the danger of noise is that it feels urgent. It makes you believe that if you don't respond, if you don't engage, if you don't keep up, you will be left behind. But in reality, it is the noise that holds you back. The greatest achievers in history did not waste time on noise. They did not waste energy chasing approval or arguing with critics. They chose silence. They chose focus. They chose to put their energy into the work, not into the words. Because words come and go, but results remain. The world remembers actions, not arguments. It remembers discipline, not distractions. When you allow noise to consume you, you lose the clarity that drives you. Focus is fragile. It is like a flame, easily extinguished by the winds of distraction. And every time you allow noise to dictate your thoughts, you weaken that flame. But when you block it out, when you refuse to engage, when you discipline yourself to stay locked in on your mission, the flame grows stronger. That flame becomes a fire, and that fire becomes unstoppable. Noise is dangerous because it feeds the ego. It makes you believe you are progressing just because you are being noticed. But attention is not achievement. Applause is not success. And likes, comments, or cheers will never replace the satisfaction of true accomplishment. The ego craves noise, but discipline thrives in silence. The ego wants to be seen, but discipline wants to grow. The ego wants to be praised, but discipline wants to improve. The ego will fall for the noise every time, but discipline will always rise above it. Every distraction you remove is an investment back into your future. Every time you say no to noise, you say yes to progress. That means saying no to meaningless arguments, no to empty praise, no to the temptation of shortcuts. It means choosing to keep your head down when everyone else is looking for attention. It means remembering that the mission is greater than the noise. The world is filled with people who were almost great, but lost themselves in the noise. They had potential, they had talent, they had drive, but they allowed distractions to pull them off course. They cared more about being seen than being effective, more about being recognized than being remembered. And in the end, their noise outshined their substance, and when the noise faded, nothing remained. But those who block it out, those who master silence, those who choose discipline over distraction, they are the ones who endure. They are the ones who build legacies that last long after the noise has died away. Because while noise is temporary, discipline is permanent. While noise is shallow, discipline is deep. And while noise fades, discipline echoes for generations. You must understand that ignoring the noise is not easy. It requires strength. It requires patience. It requires the courage to stand apart from the crowd, to walk a path that others will not understand, to endure the loneliness that comes with silence. But that loneliness is not weakness, it is the price of focus. And the reward of that focus is a life of purpose, a life of impact, a life that cannot be shaken by the chaos of the world. Every day you will be tested by noise. You will be tempted to prove yourself to people who don't matter. You will be tempted to chase recognition instead of progress. You will be tempted to respond, to react, to engage in distractions that serve no purpose. But discipline means choosing the mission over the noise. Discipline means remembering that silence is not emptiness, it is power. And when you hold that power, you can move mountains without ever raising your voice. Noise will always exist. There will always be opinions. There will always be critics. There will always be someone louder, someone flashier, someone desperate to grab attention. But if you stay disciplined, if you stay silent, if you stay focused, none of it can touch you. Because while they are busy making noise, you will be busy making progress. While they are talking, you will be building. While they are distracted, you will be advancing. And in the end, the difference will be undeniable. Noise is a distraction, but only if you let it be. You have the power to shut it out. You have the power to redirect your focus. You have the power to choose silence, to choose discipline, to choose growth. And when you make that choice consistently, the noise will fade, and your results will speak for themselves. Do not waste your life chasing the noise of others. Do not trade your potential for the fleeting satisfaction of attention. Do not sacrifice your mission for the distraction of applause. Build in silence. Focus on the work. Trust the process. And when the time is right, your actions will make more noise than words ever could. Noise is a distraction. Let others waste their lives in it. You, stay focused. You, stay disciplined. You, stay silent. And in that silence, you will find your strength. Your energy is limited. Every ounce of strength you have, every hour you live, every drop of focus that runs through your mind, it is all finite. You cannot give it away carelessly. You cannot waste it explaining yourself to people who will never understand you, defending your choices to those who have no stake in your future, or proving your worth to those who are too blinded by doubt to see your potential. Your energy is the currency of your life, and how you spend it will determine everything you achieve. Each day begins with a reserve of energy, and how you use it decides whether you move forward or fall behind. When you spend that energy explaining yourself, when you waste it arguing with critics, when you drain it by defending your path, you are taking away from the power you could invest in building, in growing, in sharpening yourself. And while you are busy spending your strength on explanations, someone else is spending theirs on action. Someone else is investing in discipline. Someone else is quietly turning their energy into results. The truth is, you will never satisfy everyone. You will never convince the doubters. You will never silence the critics with words alone. Because words fade, but actions remain. Every moment you waste proving yourself is a moment stolen from improving yourself. The people who matter do not need explanations. They will see the results. They will recognize the effort. They will know the truth, not because you told them, but because you lived it. Energy is precious because it is limited. The body can only endure so much. The mind can only focus for so long. The spirit can only carry so much weight before it begins to falter. That is why you must protect your energy as if your future depends on it, because it does. Every hour wasted on distraction is an hour you can never reclaim. Every ounce of energy spent defending yourself is an ounce of progress lost forever. The clock does not pause. The days do not stop, and your potential waits for no one. The most disciplined people in history did not waste their lives explaining themselves. They invested their energy where it mattered, into the craft, into the mission, into the relentless pursuit of mastery. They understood that explanations change nothing, but discipline changes everything. They knew that the energy required to defend yourself is better spent building something undeniable. Because when you build something undeniable, you no longer need words. Your results will do the talking. Think about the effort it takes to argue with critics, to justify your path, to prove your worth. Now imagine taking that same energy and directing it into training, into learning, into refining your skills, into strengthening your body, into sharpening your mind. Over time, the difference becomes monumental. One path leads to exhaustion without progress. The other leads to growth without limits. The choice is yours. Your energy is not meant for the crowd. It is not meant for the noise. It is not meant for those who doubt you, mock you, or question you. Your energy is meant for the mission. Your energy is meant for the work. Your energy is meant for the fight that lies ahead. And if you invest it wisely, you will rise while others remain stagnant. If you squander it, you will find yourself drained and empty, with nothing to show for it. You must learn to say no. No to the arguments. No to the critics. No to the endless cycle of trying to prove yourself. Saying no is not weakness, it is discipline. It is the discipline of guarding your energy, of protecting your focus, of refusing to give your strength to anything that does not move you forward. Every no you give to distraction is a yes you give to progress. Every time you refuse to explain yourself, you are choosing to invest in yourself. Understand this clearly. Not everyone will understand your journey. Not everyone is meant to. Your path is yours alone. The sacrifices you make, the battles you fight, the discipline you carry, these are yours to bear, not theirs to judge. And when you accept that truth, you free yourself from the need to explain. You free yourself from the chains of expectation. You free yourself to pour all your energy into growth, into progress, into victory. Growth requires energy. Every step forward demands effort. Every improvement requires sacrifice. If you waste your energy on explanations, you will have nothing left for growth. And without growth, you will remain stuck, repeating the same patterns, chasing the same validation, never moving closer to your potential. But when you conserve your energy, when you channel it into growth, you create momentum. That momentum builds into strength. That strength builds into mastery. And mastery builds into greatness. The people who succeed are not the ones who shouted the loudest. They are not the ones who defended themselves at every turn. They are the ones who stayed focused. They are the ones who invested their energy where it mattered most. They are the ones who allowed their results to silence the noise. And when the results came, there was nothing left to argue about, nothing left to explain, nothing left to prove. Your energy is your power. Do not trade it for the empty satisfaction of being understood. Do not waste it on battles that do not matter. Do not spend it explaining yourself to people who are not walking your path. Save it, protect it, invest it, because every ounce of energy invested in growth compounds over time. The small steps, the daily discipline, the quiet focus, it all adds up. And when it does, it creates something so powerful that the world cannot ignore it. You will be tempted to waste energy on explanations. You will be tempted to defend yourself. But discipline means resisting that temptation. Discipline means keeping your head down when others demand your attention. Discipline means remembering that your mission is more important than their approval. Discipline means pouring every ounce of your energy into becoming the best version of yourself. And when that version of yourself finally emerges, when the results finally come, when your growth can no longer be denied, the very people who demanded explanations will have none left to ask. They will see the truth in what you have built. They will see the evidence of your discipline. They will see the results of your growth. And in that moment, you will realize that the silence, the focus, the discipline was worth it. Your energy is limited. Spend it wisely. Do not waste it on explanations. Do not waste it on noise. Do not waste it on those who will never understand you. Invest it in yourself. Invest it in your growth. Invest it in your discipline. Because at the end of the day, the only proof you will ever need is the life you built through the strength of your own effort. Your energy is limited. Protect it. Guard it. Use it to rise, to grow, to endure. And let your results speak for you. Greatness is proven, not spoken. It is not found in promises, in declarations, or in loud claims. It is found in the work, in the sacrifice, in the quiet persistence that few are willing to endure. Anyone can speak about what they will do. Anyone can describe the goals they will reach, the victories they will claim, the dreams they will chase. But words cost nothing, and because they cost nothing, they mean nothing without action to back them. Greatness is never in the talk. It is always in the proof. The strongest people
people are rarely the loudest. They do not need to announce what they are building. They do not need to remind you of how hard they are working. They simply do the work, and in time the work speaks for them. Greatness has a voice of its own, and that voice is found in results. When you have results, you do not need to explain. You do not need to argue. You do not need to convince anyone. The results will silence everything. This world is filled with empty talk. People make promises they cannot keep. They speak of discipline they do not practice. They describe futures they will never reach. But greatness is not about what you say. It is about what you prove. The proof is in the hours of practice, when no one is watching. The proof is in the sacrifices you make, when no one thanks you for them. The proof is in the battles you fight in silence, the pain you endure, the discipline you maintain when it would be easier to quit. That is where greatness begins. Words will not carry you through adversity. Words will not lift you when you are tired. Words will not hold you steady when everything feels like it is breaking. Discipline will. Consistency will. Proof will. Because when the storm comes, and it always comes, it does not care about what you said you would do. It only respects what you have done. Greatness is earned through evidence, and evidence cannot be faked. You cannot lie to yourself about the work. You either did it, or you did not. You either endured or you gave up. You either pushed forward or you stood still. The truth is written in your actions, not in your words. And when enough actions are stacked on top of one another, they form proof. That proof is greatness.
History does not remember the people who spoke the loudest. It remembers the ones who proved themselves when it mattered. Soldiers who stood their ground under fire. Leaders who carried their people through crisis. Men and women who worked in silence, building something greater than themselves. None of them needed to tell the world they were great. Their actions proved it. Their results left no room for doubt. The danger of speaking without proving is that it creates comfort. Words give the illusion of progress. Talking about what you will do convinces the mind that something has already been accomplished. That illusion is dangerous. It robs you of the hunger that drives discipline. It weakens the edge you need to move forward. If you want greatness, you cannot afford illusions. You cannot afford comfort built on empty promises. You must live in proof, not in talk. Greatness is built in silence. When no one is watching, when no one is applauding, when no one even knows what you are doing, that is where proof is created. It is the hours of training before dawn. The late nights when others are sleeping, the sacrifices no one will ever see. Those moments build something that cannot be denied, because eventually the silence breaks into results, and when the results arrive, they speak louder than any words ever could. The truth is that greatness does not announce itself. It arrives quietly, without warning, built on years of relentless proof, and when it arrives, it cannot be ignored. People may doubt your words, they may doubt your plans, they may doubt your potential, but they cannot doubt results. They cannot doubt what is standing in front of them. They cannot argue with proof. This is why you must devote yourself not to speaking, but to proving. You must let your actions be your voice, your results be your argument, your discipline be your legacy. Because when you live this way, you no longer need to convince anyone of anything. You no longer need to defend yourself. You no longer need to waste your energy on being understood. The proof speaks for you. There will always be those who doubt you. There will always be those who criticize you. There will always be those who say you cannot achieve what you are chasing. But if you waste your time trying to change their minds with words, you will never move forward. If you want to silence doubt, silence it with proof. Show them through your results. Let your discipline be undeniable. Let your effort be unshakable. Let your proof be so strong that nothing remains to be said. Greatness is rare because most people are satisfied with speaking. It is easier to talk than to prove. It is easier to make promises than to live them. It is easier to dream out loud than to grind in silence. But the path of greatness is not easy. It is difficult. It is painful. It is lonely. And it requires a relentless commitment to proof over words, to actions over declarations, to results over promises. Every day you have a choice. You can talk about what you will do, or you can do it. You can announce your intentions, or you can act on them. You can spend your life speaking, or you can spend your life proving. And at the end of it all, only one of those choices leads to greatness. Because when your life is finished, When people look back on what you left behind, they will not remember the words you spoke. They will not remember the promises you made. They will remember the proof you gave. They will remember the battles you fought, the victories you earned, the discipline you lived. They will remember the results. Greatness is proven, not spoken. Live your life with that truth at the center. Stop speaking. Stop promising. Stop explaining. Start proving. Start building. Start enduring. And when the time comes, when your results stand undeniable before the world, you will not need to say a word. The proof will say everything. Greatness is proven, not spoken, and proof once earned can never be taken away. Silence reveals strength. Weak people demand recognition. They crave attention. They seek validation. They want to be noticed for every small effort. But strength requires no announcement. Strength does not beg for acknowledgement. Strength speaks through results, through actions, through the steady discipline of those who do not need applause to move forward. There is a deep power in silence. It is the power of control, the power of patience, the power of knowing who you are without requiring anyone else to confirm it. The strongest people you will ever encounter are often the quietest, because they understand that true power is not measured in words, but in the weight of results. They do not need to remind you of their sacrifices. They do not need to tell you about their discipline. They live it. And because they live it, the evidence speaks louder than anything they could ever say. Weakness reveals itself in the need for recognition. The weak cannot endure silence. They cannot handle being overlooked. They cannot stand the thought of being unseen. So they speak. They boast. They demand to be noticed. But recognition without results is emptiness. Words without proof collapse under the weight of reality. The weak may enjoy the temporary satisfaction of attention, but that attention fades quickly, because nothing was built to sustain it. The strong, however, endure without recognition. They understand that silence is not a punishment. It is an advantage. In silence they build. In silence they prepare. In silence they sharpen themselves while the weak waste time chasing attention. And when the time comes, when their results are revealed, the silence breaks with undeniable force. There is no need to argue. There is no need to explain. The results are there, and the results speak with a voice stronger than words ever could. Silence requires discipline. It is not easy to resist the urge to be recognized. It is not easy to continue working while others are being praised. It is not easy to watch others speak while you remain quiet. But that discipline is what separates the strong from the weak, because while others are distracted by the noise, you are investing your energy into growth. While others are chasing attention, you are chasing mastery. And over time, mastery will always outlast noise. The strong live by a simple truth. Recognition is temporary, but results are permanent. You can receive applause today and be forgotten tomorrow, but results endure. Results remain. Results cannot be taken away once they are earned. That is why silence reveals strength, because only the strong can resist the temptation of recognition. Only the strong can endure the loneliness of silence, and only the strong can remain focused long enough to produce results that cannot be denied. Weak people measure themselves by the attention they receive. Strong people measure themselves by the standard they uphold. Weak people celebrate recognition. Strong people celebrate progress. Weak people need others to confirm their worth. Strong people know their worth because they see it in their actions, in their consistency, in their results. When you embrace silence, you gain an edge. You remove distraction. You free yourself from the need to perform for the crowd. You stop living for recognition, and you start living for growth. That edge allows you to go further, to endure longer, to achieve more than those who waste their energy chasing applause. Silence becomes your weapon. It sharpens your focus, strengthens your resolve, and prepares you for challenges that recognition can never prepare you for. The world is filled with those who talk about strength but cannot endure silence. They want to be seen as strong, but they cannot bear to be ignored. They want to be known as disciplined, but they cannot bear to work without recognition. They want to be respected, but they cannot earn respect without demanding it. And so their strength collapses, because it was never strength at all. It was weakness disguised as noise. The strongest people let results speak. Results cannot be faked. Results cannot be argued. Results cannot be denied. When you let results speak for you, there is no debate. There is no question. There is no room for doubt. The proof is in front of everyone to see. And when that proof comes, the silence that preceded it transforms into the loudest voice of all. True strength is humble. It does not need the spotlight. It does not crave recognition. It does not beg for validation. True strength is patient.
It is disciplined. It waits quietly, while others rush. It works steadily, while others boast. It endures silently, while others demand attention. And in the end, it outlasts everything else. If you want to reveal your strength, do not speak about it. Do not chase recognition. Do not beg for attention. Prove it in silence. Prove it in the hours no one sees. Prove it in the discipline you maintain when no one is watching. Prove it in the sacrifices you make without applause. Prove it in the results that come only from patience, endurance, and relentless effort. Weakness is loud. Strength is quiet. Weakness seeks validation. Strength creates proof. Weakness demands to be seen. Strength waits to be undeniable. And when the moment arrives, when the results stand before the world, the difference between weakness and strength becomes clear. Silence reveals strength. The weak cannot endure it, but the strong thrive in it. So embrace the silence. Let it shape you. Let it test you. Let it strengthen you. And when your results are ready, they will speak for you with a voice louder than any words, louder than any recognition, louder than any applause. Strength is not what you say. Strength is what you prove. And silence, more than anything else, reveals who is truly strong. Focus sharpens direction. It is the tool that cuts through the noise, the shield that protects your discipline, and the compass that keeps you aligned with your true purpose. When you live your life in constant comparison and endless competition with others, your path becomes blurred. You begin chasing shadows instead of substance, distractions instead of discipline, illusions instead of reality. But when you focus, when you narrow your vision onto your mission, you find clarity, and clarity is power. The danger of comparison is that it robs you of direction. The moment you measure yourself against someone else, you begin living their journey instead of your own. Their pace becomes your pace, their goals become your goals, and their achievements dictate your sense of worth. But life is not meant to be lived in comparison. Your mission is not theirs. Your battles are not theirs. Your discipline must be yours alone. And until you stop comparing, you will never know the strength of your own path. Competition can be fuel, but if you let it control you, it becomes poison. When every step you take is measured against someone else's, you lose sight of why you are moving in the first place. You forget that the true race is against yourself, against who you were yesterday, against the excuses you made last week, against the comfort you gave into last month. When you understand that, competition shifts from external to internal, and focus becomes sharper than ever before. Focus gives you direction, because it strips away what does not matter. It clears the path of distraction. It reminds you that not every battle is yours to fight. Not every opportunity is meant to be taken. Not every voice is worth listening to. Focus tells you this is where you must go. This is where you must go. This
is what you must do. This is who you must become. Without focus, you are scattered. With focus, you are unstoppable. Clarity does not come from doing more. It comes from focusing on less. It comes from identifying what matters most and giving it everything you have. When your vision is sharp, you stop wasting energy on comparison. You stop losing time to competition that doesn't serve you. You stop scattering your attention across meaningless battles. Instead, every ounce of your strength, every moment of your time, every drop of your effort is invested in a single clear mission. That is how focus creates power. The greatest achievements in history were not accomplished by people who tried to do everything. They were accomplished by people who focused on one thing with relentless intensity. They poured their lives into a purpose, and because of that focus, their direction never wavered. While others were distracted, they stayed locked in. While others wasted time comparing, they sharpened their skills. While others competed for attention, they built legacies that needed no introduction. Focus is not about speed, it is about direction. Moving fast in the wrong direction achieves nothing. But even slow progress, if it is aligned and focused, will carry you further than frantic movement without clarity. When you stop comparing, when you stop competing, when you choose to focus on your own mission, you sharpen your direction and guarantee that every step you take is toward the life you are meant to build. The truth is that comparison blinds you. It makes you chase goals that do not belong to you. It makes you doubt your progress because it does not look like someone else's. It convinces you that you are behind when in reality, you are exactly where you need to be. Focus restores your vision. It reminds you that your journey is yours alone. It teaches you that it does not matter how fast others are moving, it matters only that you are moving in the right direction. Discipline without focus is wasted. You can work hard, you can sacrifice, you can grind day and night, but if your energy is scattered, if your direction is unclear, that effort will not create progress. Focus is what channels discipline into purpose. It sharpens every action, every choice, every decision. It ensures that the work you do is not just work, it is progress. Clarity is freedom. When you are focused, you are no longer chained by comparison. You are no longer enslaved by competition. You are no longer distracted by the endless noise of the world. You are free to move forward without hesitation. You are free to pursue your mission without apology. You are free to live with purpose because you know exactly where you are going and why you are going there. Focus demands sacrifice. It means letting go of battles that do not serve you. It means ignoring voices that distract you. It means saying no to opportunities that lead you off course. But every sacrifice sharpens your direction. Every distraction you eliminate makes your path clearer. Every comparison you abandon gives you more energy to invest in yourself. Strength is not found in doing everything. Strength is found in focusing on the right thing and refusing to let go. Strength is found in sharpening your direction until nothing can shake it. And once you achieve that, you move with clarity. Every step forward becomes deliberate. Every action becomes meaningful. Every result becomes undeniable. Those who live in comparison may look busy, but they are lost. Those who live in competition may look motivated, but they are distracted. Only those who live with focus move with clarity. Only those who choose direction over distraction achieve true progress. Only those who silence the noise of others find the strength of their own voice. Your mission is waiting for you. Your path is already in front of you. The only thing standing in your way is the temptation to compare, to compete, to scatter your focus across battles that do not belong to you. Reject that temptation. Embrace focus. Let it sharpen your direction until every move you make carries you closer to your goal. Focus sharpens direction, and when your direction is sharp, your life is clear. You stop wasting time. You stop chasing distractions. You stop scattering your strength. You become steady, disciplined, unstoppable. And in that clarity, you will find a power greater than recognition, greater than competition, greater than comparison. You will find the strength of knowing exactly who you are and exactly where you are going. Focus sharpens direction, and with direction, your actions will echo louder than your words. You can speak endlessly about your dreams, about your discipline, about your commitment, but words are fragile. Words can be forgotten. Words can be doubted. Words can even deceive. Actions, however, are undeniable. They are the true measure of a person's strength, the lasting evidence of their character, the proof that cannot be erased or ignored. Talk has never built greatness. Talk has never forged discipline. Talk has never lifted the weight of responsibility, or endured the pain of sacrifice, or stood tall under pressure. Only action has done that. Only the choice to show up, to endure, to commit, to fight for your mission when it is difficult, when it is uncomfortable, when no one is watching. Only that kind of action creates an echo that lasts far beyond the moment. The echo of action carries weight. It outlives recognition. It travels further than praise. Long after the words are forgotten, the results remain. Long after the noise fades, the actions stand as proof. And those actions tell a story. They tell the story of who you are, of what you value, of what you were willing to sacrifice, of how much strength you carried. Words may describe that story, but actions write it. There are people who promise everything but deliver nothing. They speak loudly about their ambition but quietly abandon their responsibilities. They talk about discipline but fall short in execution. They make commitments in public but break them in private. Their words may impress in the moment, but without actions to match, those words collapse into emptiness. The echo of inaction is silence. The echo of broken promises is distrust. The echo of weakness is a life lived without proof. On the other hand, there are those who speak little but act with force. They do not waste time explaining what they will do. They simply do it. They do not announce their discipline, they practice it.
They do not advertise their sacrifice, they live it. They do not chase recognition, they let their results speak. And when the echo of their actions spreads, it commands respect in a way words never could. It cannot be ignored because it is proof, it is substance, it is reality. Strength has always been proven by action. No one remembers what was said in moments of comfort, but everyone remembers what was done in moments of hardship. The world does not respect words, it respects endurance. It does not admire promises, it admires sacrifice. It does not honor talk, it honors action. And if you want your life to have an echo that lasts, you must ensure that your actions speak louder than anything you could ever say. Your words may inspire for a moment, but your actions inspire for a lifetime. A speech can motivate, but an example can transform. The way you live, the discipline you practice, the integrity you uphold, these things do not just echo, they ripple. They move beyond you, influencing others, shaping environments, creating standards. Your actions have the power to ignite change, not because you spoke about it, but because you showed it. There is also a discipline in silence. To resist the urge to announce your every move, to avoid the temptation to declare what you will do, and instead allow your actions to unfold without warning. That is true strength. Because when your actions arrive without announcement, they carry more weight. They arrive as undeniable proof, not as promises waiting to be fulfilled. That silence gives power to the echo. It makes it clearer, stronger, undeniable. Words can be manipulated, actions cannot. You can say you are strong, but strength is revealed in adversity. You can say you are disciplined, but discipline is revealed in consistency. You can say you are committed, but commitment is revealed in sacrifice. No one can argue with results. No one can debate proof, and no one can dismiss the echo of a life lived through action. Weakness hides behind words. Strength reveals itself through action. Weakness seeks to be heard. Strength seeks to be proven. Weakness speaks about intention. Strength demonstrates execution, and the difference between the two is revealed not in what is promised, but in what is done. You are writing your story through your actions. Every decision, every choice, every sacrifice, it all echoes. It echoes in your reputation. It echoes in the respect you command. It echoes in the trust you build. It echoes in the standards you set for yourself and for those around you. People may not remember what you said, but they will remember how you lived. They will remember the weight of your actions, because actions leave marks that words never can. There is a simple truth. Results speak. They speak when you are silent. They speak when others doubt you. They speak when the world questions you. They speak when no one gives you recognition. And when they speak, their voice is louder than any word, stronger than any promise, clearer than any explanation. That is the echo of action. If you want to live a life of strength, do not spend your time telling the world who you are. Show them. Do not waste your breath announcing your discipline. Prove it. Do not chase validation through promises. Earn respect through results. Let your actions be your introduction, your defense, your legacy. Let them echo louder than anything you could ever say. Words are wind. They can inspire, but they can also vanish. Actions are stone. They build, they endure, they last. And when your time is past, no one will remember the promises you made. They will remember the actions you took. They will remember the echo of your discipline, your courage, your sacrifice, your results. Your actions will echo louder than your words, and that echo will define your strength, your character, and your legacy. So live in a way that leaves an echo worth hearing. Everything comes back to you. Focus on yourself and stay silent, because the noise of the world cannot shape your destiny. Discipline in silence builds character. Patience in silence builds strength. Endurance in silence builds unshakable confidence. The world will try to distract you. It will tempt you to prove yourself with words. It will push you to demand recognition. Resist it. Let your silence be your training ground. Let your silence be your advantage. Let your silence be the space where you rise above the weak and sharpen yourself into someone unbreakable. The weak chase attention, but the strong chase mastery. The weak demand recognition, but the strong let results speak. The weak are pulled in every direction, but the strong stay focused, clear and relentless. The weak waste energy in noise, but the strong invest energy in growth. And in the end, when all the voices fade, the only thing that will echo is not what you said, but what you did. So live with discipline, endure the silence, build your strength in the quiet hours when no one is watching, stay focused when the world pulls you in every direction, and above all, let your actions echo louder than your words, because actions are permanent, results are undeniable, and legacies are built not on promises, but on proof. Your silence will reveal your strength. Your focus will sharpen your direction, and your actions will echo long after you are gone. That is the life of power. That is the life of discipline. That is the life of true greatness.